Hello, good evening and welcome to Business. Away from the referendum and all the votings, let's do some business now. Vodafone Ghana says it is working to roll its 4G service from April next year. This was after it secured a license from the National Communications Authority through an auction. Chief Executive of Vodafone, Yolanda Zuleika Guba, has been speaking to Joy Businesses, George Wiafe.
I am hoping, I'm committing to Q2 of next year. Let's put it that way. And I am hoping to surprise you.
January, February, March, April, May, June.
Between April,
January, February, March.
Yeah, April,
May, June. That is the period.
That is the period that we will actually commercially launch a fully fledged service to all our customers. As I'm saying, I'm still hoping to surprise you.
You talked about the Vodafone Group having the most sophisticated network when it comes to 4G.
In the world.
Would it come as an additional investment again to upgrade the systems for this to happen, or listen, George, it's just about switching the networks here and there, and then voila, we are on?
No. I mean, every time you introduce a new technology, you actually have to have new investments coming into the country. So in the next 18 months, I am expecting that we will actually invest 3 times the amount that we actually have paid for spectrum in order to roll out the spectrum. So if we paid $30 million, I'm expecting for us to actually invest in the region of $120 million just to actually build out the network in the next 18 months. And then obviously we'll expand from there going forward,
I believe that you're not just looking at the capital where the niche areas, but also looking at the national level as well.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, as I said, if I look at how long it's taken 3G to evolve in the country, 4G will evolve even faster than that.
What was, $120 million, that's lots of money.
Yes.
Are you looking at more of a short to medium term returns on investment, or listen, this is an investment that, George, it will surely pay off, and therefore our extrapolations give us that at this period we'll start making the returns? So,
every investment, right, you have to do investment calculations and everything and make sure that we're at least positive on the.
All right, to other stories now. Beginning next year, the Ghana Stock Exchange says it will pay more attention to small and medium-scale enterprises who lack the capacity to meet requirements for the main market. According to Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Kofi Yamwa, there is a great potential on the alternative market for investors.
The first half of 2018 was generally good for investors on the Ghana Stock Exchange, recording a year high of 35.62% in April before slowing to 11.62% by end of June. One of the biggest news to hit the market was the launch of telecom giant MTN's IPO. However, the banking sector crisis brought some pressure on the market's slowing activities. Moving into 2019, the Ghana Stock Exchange says it will be focusing on an alternative market for the SME sector. Chief Executive of the Stock Exchange is Kofi Yamwa.
Going forward, we believe that all of us must also focus on the GACS because it brings a number of advantages, particularly for SMEs. Indeed, the GACS is targeted at SMEs, including startups. The idea is for many of these companies out there called SMEs to utilize the market, raise capital, retool, expand, so that these companies who outlive the founders of the companies, these companies will be able to share their future with the general investing public, be able to become much bigger than they were founded. And so the economy will also be better off in terms of employment creation, wealth creation, and so forth.
He disputed claims the alternative market is inferior to the main market.
It's a separate market from the main market. It is not inferior to the main market. Like I took pains to explain to somebody, I wouldn't regard this as somebody being premier and somebody being first division, if you liken it to sports, because in terms of performance, there could be a company on an alternative market that is doing better in terms of price discovery, in terms of dividend payments than a company.
Ethiopian Airlines is targeting to grow its West African operations to the U.S. West Coast with a scheduled flight to Los Angeles. The airline on December 17 began scheduled flights from its Addis Ababa, Lome and Los Angeles route. George Wafe was on the maiden flight from Lome and has come through with this report.
The Addis Ababa Lome Los Angeles flights are part of Ethiopian Airlines' new route development, which seeks to expand its network and create better connectivity in Africa and the rest of the world. The shuttle flights, which was launched on December 17, flew from Addis Ababa to Los Angeles, but did a transit through Lome, Togo. It took us about 15 hours to fly from Lome to Los Angeles, California, but on return was just about 12 hours. General Manager of Ethiopian Airlines in charge of Nigerian operations, Fireward Mekonnen, has been giving us more reasons for flying directly to Los Angeles.
The final agreement is going to be signed before the end of the year, but the MOA has already been signed, so we are expecting the detailed and then the final agreement to be out before the end of the year.
And we will see Ethiopian Airlines flying to Ghana, or there will be a new...
That's all for business with me, Sandra Esenam Apenu. Thanks so much for watching. Alaba. Did I say Alaba? It's Araba. She's standing by for the rest of the stories.